here have already read today's newspaper? Raise your hand. The local paper? So maybe you've seen this picture, which is in today's newspaper. Dillard and Mildred Teer celebrated on July 15th, 75 years of marriage. It's amazing. They are homebound now and don't come to worship every Sunday with us anymore. But whether you know them personally or not, we want to invite you to be a part of celebrating this amazing gift of 75 years of marriage. Their mailing address is in your booklet this morning. Mail them a blessing. Mail them a card as we celebrate with them together. Dillard actually stood up here 85 years ago as a 12-year-old boy and said yes to becoming a member of this church. And he and his wife have served in so many different capacities. In a recent visit that Pastor Jennifer and I made to the Teer home, first we sat in the living room with Dillard as he told us these amazing, beautiful stories of serving Christ through this church. The way that he was a part of the group that built the education building and paid it off very, very quickly. He recalls sitting in this chair, a chair like this. This chair is actually also another one of these is in his living room from the Spence Kale Sunday School class that he was a part of that met downstairs below our sanctuary. Jennifer and I served him communion. We joined hands and we prayed the Lord's Prayer before Jennifer and I then went back to his wife's bedroom. Mildred has not been out of bed for months, and hospice care is there now. Their daughter told us that it is rare for her to speak these days. Her memory is not as good as it once was. Oftentimes, she sleeps and her eyes are closed. So when we got back to that room that day, I wasn't quite sure how to engage because her eyes were closed and she wasn't speaking. And so I asked Nancy, what is one of your mom's favorite hymns? And she immediately said, "How Great Thou Art." And so Jennifer and I began to sing. As we sang, Mildred's eyes opened, and there was this spark of recognition. And then her lips began to move, and then we could hear it. She began to sing with us. Out of the depths of her soul, a song that she has sung time and time and time again right here in this sanctuary. And it wasn't so much that it was a connection with us and her as it was a connection between her and her Creator, who is great in her living and in her dying. I invite us to continue our singing of How Great Thou Art, verses 2 and 4.